Yeah, Massey, no question, provided some big moments for Southern today. That motor, which this guy has talked about a lot, and that's head coach Scott Nagy, who joins us here post-game. His comments are brought to you by CMC Mitchell and Associates. Coach, thanks for the time. Congratulations on the win. Just for your group to find a way to close out a close game here, what did your group do here down the stretch to figure this thing out and get the win here at home?
Well, I don't think anybody in there feels like we played great. But the one thing I told them was we made some plays when they needed to be made. Davion hit that big shot. Yep. Moo hit that big shot down when we were up 2. We just went to him in the middle of the floor and let him play. I thought defensively we were obviously way better in the second half, mostly because we went after their big kid, Olawani. Yeah, we went after him in the second half and got him in some foul trouble, and obviously him only having 4 points in the second half was big because he killed us in the first half, 9 for 10. At one point in the first half, they were shooting 33%, and then he just went boom, 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 boom. And some of them were just loose balls that he picked up and put in the basket. Our team is like it's a struggle right now, and I think you can see that. But they're fighting and trying to figure things out. We installed some new stuff offensively. It was very clunky today, which I would expect after 2 days. We didn't have a great feel for it, but the nice thing is we have 2 games in like the next 2 weeks, and so I think it will help. I mean, we shot 59% in the first half. The problem was we were only up 3 points because we just couldn't get any stops, but they just did what they had to do to win, and it wasn't very pretty, but that's okay, and it's a good start for us, particularly after how we played the other day.
Yeah. Coach Al McGuire reminded us to smell the roses after games like this,
yeah.
right? But Al McGuire also criticized his own team in a critical way.
Yeah.
So what I'm going with next is not a criticism, but just kind of we've watched your teams play 10 times. Okay, what are your unacceptables on the defensive end?
One would be to not get beat baseline, and that's happening quite a bit. Part of the problem is I want to call him Moo. But Kennard is so aggressive, and when he sees ball screens, he's going to try to blow them up. And when they're coming from the middle of the floor, then they can refuse it, and he gets beat baseline. That's how he gets in foul trouble. Instead of just trusting the defense, just trust it, and let it be there and force them to the screen. But that's a big one for us is to not get beat baseline, because it just puts us in such long rotations because we're trying to be in the middle of the floor, and if we have to help all the way across the floor, we're all over the place, and you can get beat on 45-degree cuts and things like that, and that is a big one for us for sure. And the other is to be able to guard your guy without just requiring help all the time. To be able, to have enough smarts to know how the guy shoots the ball, to understand a scout, and to know who you can get away from, who's a shooter, who's a driver. When you're switching, that's even more important, that you know everybody and not just the guy that you're trying to guard that you start the game on. But that whole baseline one is a big one for us to keep the ball back into the middle of the floor.
Hey, help us understand this part as we watch the game, watch your team play. Southern Indiana shot 9 times from 3. They made 4, I believe it was, today.
5 for 9.
Yeah, 5. 3 of those were contested. And a contest on my definition was certainly above the chin. 3 of those were above the chin at the eye level, and possibly even up around the ball. 6 of them were below the chin, basically a non-contest. How do you value that?
Well, I want to take care of the paint first.
Yep.
I really do, and I want people to beat us with jumpers. The fact that they only took 9. I mean, this team was 12th in the country coming in, and they shoot a lot of threes.
It's a great point.
And so, obviously when we played Bradley, we didn't guard anybody from the three-point line, and so we wanted to make sure we took that away. I think they recognized that. They saw we were switching. They went into Olawani. And so they tried to attack us from the inside. The thing I was frustrated about in the first half was the fact they have a very high foul rate, one of the highest in the country. And I look at one point, we have 6 fouls, they have 1. And they took more free throws than us in the first half. Now, we got more free throws in the second half. We got at them early, and they fouled us. But that was a big key for us to get to the free throw line, because we weren't very good offensively in the second half. We shot 37% in the second half, but we did make the shots we needed to. But we took their threes away as much as we could. The big kid, Milky, is very good at looking like he's going to screen and slipping out of it. We knew that. He very rarely set screens. And so you have to, you basically can't switch those, because if you switch, one guy's going to switch, one guy isn't. He's going to get open. He's a very good shooter. I thought we did a nice job on him. I'm trying to just look here. He got off 3 3-point attempts, and he made 2 of them. But those are the only shots he got off.
Yeah.
And so I thought we did a pretty good job on him.
Good.
Coach, you knew you would have a rebound advantage, and you wanted to see your group specifically attack the offensive boards in this game early in the second half. Antoine Massey was a big piece of that, getting in there and just getting a hand on it, to volleyball it out to somebody else. Would you say that this was his best game that you've seen from him this year?
And he was aggressive. He got Olawani in foul trouble there to start the second half. I would say he's not the greatest offensive player, but he's quick enough and good enough to get you in foul trouble. And he did do a nice job, because a lot of those he doesn't even get the credit for those offensive rebounds, because he just tips it, somebody else grabs it. But he kept it alive a lot. And in the first half, he made a play like that, tipped it, Jarrett got it, and it kind of started us on our little run where we got a 6-point lead, but we let him back in the game. But he was the one that started that.
How would you assess Sheridan, especially in late game situation, ball in his hands, where you're trying to obviously execute?
Well, I mean, he's in there, when we have you in there, then that means we're counting on you and trusting on you. He's excuse me, he's probably our best ball handler. And, they were really pressuring us. They were trying to get out in passing lanes. You saw them pick up. I knew that they would. I mean, they watched the Eastern Kentucky game and watched us throw the ball all over the place. And so we knew that they were going to pick us up. And I thought we did a better job of handling it. But yeah, late in the game, we need somebody in there that can run the offense.
And I know you brought it up in your opening answer to both Rodney and I, but Kennard to make that shot. I mean, that was a big shot.
It was a big shot. I told him. I mean, it's we're like, this is why we're going to you. This is, I mean, in these situations, you're going to get the ball when, and it doesn't always work out. But you got to know we've got enough confidence in you that we're coming to you.
Sheridan's learned on the job, and he was the one that initiated the play at the right time. And fortunately, he's right in front, and you were hand picking it on the time, but he went right at the 13-12, and he makes the play, and then also. Hensley did a great job of posting up to hold the defense at bay as well. So I thought you guys really executed well. How did you feel about your execution for the most part in the last 4 minutes? You had one shot clock deal that didn't go the way you wanted.
Yeah, and that was my fault. That wasn't the players' fault. That was my fault. But I thought they did a nice job. And that's what I say in terms of, like, we ran one set where Davion got wide open. And, Davion doesn't take a lot of threes, but he's not a terrible three-point shooter. And it was wide open. It was the one he stepped into, and the players executed well because both their players went with Jarrett cutting to the hole, and he was wide open. And Sheridan made that pass. Moo made that play. I thought we did a nice job. I'm not a big set guy because a lot of times I just think players get something in their mind. They think they have to throw it where the set says, and I like guys to be able to make plays in motion and just be players. But I think with this team right now, we just need more sets.
Coach, appreciate the time. Thank you.
Yep.
Congratulations, Coach.
Once again.